well, not about boy. It's not really boys against, but it's the, you know, as David just mentioned, that Walter Barr had mentioned that about the 1950 team against England in that match. It was the rite of passage, and boys to men.
Ah, I see. Oh, I misunderstood. Sorry. I thought it was a sportsmanship country of real athletes against schoolboy type.
Oh, no. I would never go to that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it's very, very, it was important for us to get through. You know, we really had, throughout the whole tournament, we had 20 minutes of hesitation.
Yeah.
Until we got to the semifinals, you know.
Yeah.
So the confidence was there because they were a good group of players who played a good amount of matches, trial matches beforehand, and they knew each other, especially from playing against each other.
Yeah.
So that's very, very important. Now, what I want to do.
Hey James, let me jump in 1 second. I see over your shoulder there you have the handshake between Tom Flory and
that's from
the Belgian captain as well.
Yeah, no, this is for the final. This is the final. John Langenus with the Uruguayan and Argentinian captain for the final. It's not that game.
Oh wow! It looks like you know.
No. It's the final. It's the final. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you know, Tom Flory, who was the captain for the U.S. that day, son of an Italian immigrant who was a junk dealer, very poor. You would, you know, push his cart up and down the streets of Harrison, New Jersey, you know, looking to, you know, acquire and sell junk. So, you know, from very humble beginnings, the Flory family made their way in Harrison, and then professionally he was, you know, up in New England by the 1920s, you know, playing for, you know, various teams in the American Soccer League. But yeah, one of those great immigrant stories, which that team is full of, right? Their parents they come as young children, or they're born here, and you know, develop their love for the game through the communities that they were raised in.
Stefan, in fact, I'm looking at a larger picture of your book, and that is the semifinal with Tom Flory shaking hands with the Argentinian captain. So behind you, in that picture behind you, that is Tom Flory.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see. The man in white? This one?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's Tom.
Okay. But it looks okay, and that is against Argentina then.
Yes, it is.
I see. Yeah, okay.
Great choice for a cover.
Yeah, it is. Okay.
We endorse that, right? The captain of the U.S. is on the cover. We endorse that.
Yeah. Great. Well, good to know. I've always been told that this has always been shown as a picture of the final, or I must have taken it by mistake. So I looked that up again. But anyway, you're right. It's Tom. Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm really looking forward to working with you on the English version of your book. I think that's a really special opportunity, you know, to bring the connection between the Belgian, the Belgian team in the U.S. and the U.S. team at this mythic World Cup, to make it a very special edition. So I think that's going to be fantastic. Now I'd like to.
We'll do some extra research for that to make mistakes like these.
So what I want to do now is I want to show a video of the U.S. team coming out onto the field. Now this footage was included in the 3-part series called El Origin, by Facundo Ponce de Leon. He and his brother won they made a 3-part series about the history of Uruguayan soccer. And within these 3 series, within one of the parts, I discovered that there was footage of the US team. And this is very close-up footage showing the US coming through the crowd. Oh, wow, you are. Okay, so he doesn't want to share it right now, but I will try and get it. I'll try and get it again. Well, what I'll do is I'll put it included into the recorded version of the podcast. And I have to tell you that I'm about 3 for 3 trying to display this video, but it's a very quick video of 16 seconds showing the US team coming through the crowd, and they have the Uruguayan flag with them, and it's very close up. There are shots of Flory, my grandfather, George Morehouse, Andy Auld, Jimmy Gallagher, and then they make their way onto the field, and then it cuts to the very end where they're coming off the field and getting ready for the match, down into the dugouts of the field at Grand Parc Central. So yeah, so I'll include that. I'll make sure to insert that into the recorded version that we'll be putting onto YouTube in the coming week.
Okay.
So what were the thoughts after the match? I mean, was there still even more resentment or bad feelings towards the idea that the US was made up of ringers, and that's why they beat this strong Belgian team?
No, I don't think so. I think the comments here were that we were not good enough. That was the main critic. We were just not good enough, and there were no critics to the American style of play or composition of the teams. No, nothing at all. It was just that we were individually strong, but we were not well enough to cope with strong physicality of the American players in those conditions, and we missed our best players. So I think all the reasons for failure is on our side and not on any other side.
Okay, I can understand greatly that teams would be shouting from the rooftops about these stories of non-eligible players, legitimate players. There was only one player, George Morehouse, who played 3 games for Transvair, and that was it. All the others, they either played schoolboy, with schoolboy teams, high school teams, or junior internationals in Scotland. So that was, and then they grew up, or they were born and raised in the United States. So even my grandfather, he never played professionally before committing to the New York Giants. And we're quite. It was just one of those instincts, the things that you either had it or you didn't, and just because they were born, 6 of them were born in overseas, it doesn't make them, it doesn't make them illegal or non-eligible, and that's a shame that viewpoint was was carried on up until between the mid 70s and throughout the 80s and the 90s. And then that's where we were quite fortunate to have Zach Bigalk come out with Anything But Ringers. That was one of his famous papers that came out and really laid it out and spelled out why the U.S. team was anything but. So, and as I always say, that was my inspiration for really coming in and wanting to be a part of this group, the Society for American Soccer History.
Yep.
So, well, thank you very much. I don't know if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask by audio.
I do, yeah. Stefan, I'm very curious. Thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us today. And I guess we're kind of evened out. You beat us the last time, we beat you the first time. So
yeah,
we need to meet again soon. But I'm curious, in terms of my understanding, in terms of the governance of your federation, is that you have to do a very interesting balancing mix of essentially 3 different communities, linguistic communities mostly, right? And I'm curious, in terms of that 1930 side, if you could talk a little bit about its composition along, say, those 3 linguistic communities. How well represented was each one? Was it balanced? Was one a little bit stronger than another?
Yeah, until, let's say that from the beginning until the late 90s, it was balanced, and it was politically and from the federation itself looked after that it was balanced. Also, the coaches looked in their selection that it was balanced. So also the selection of 1930 was balanced between Flemish speaking and French speaking. You talk about 3, but the German community in Belgium is so small that there was hardly any German-speaking player in the national team, and so those problems, because it caused sometimes problems. You had 2 entities in one team. You had a table with the Flemish-speaking players and a table with French-speaking players. But since Belgian football went abroad, playing in the Premier League, playing in Germany, playing in Spain now, and we had a foreign coach with Roberto Martinez, those problems, is not involved in those linguistical problems, but there are no problems, but in those linguistical differences. So with a Spanish coach, he doesn't have to think, oh, if I select this one, then we have 7 French speaking and only 4 or 5 Flemish speaking. No, but the early days, it was like that. So we had to deal, because you had 2 big teams, or 3, one in Flanders, that was Bruges, one in Brussels, Anderlecht, and one in the French-speaking part, Standard Liège. So those were the big 3 in the 60s, 70s. Before that, it was Union, Beerschot. It was an Antwerp team, a Brussels team, and also a team from Liège called Club Liégeois. So always there had to be kind of linguistical balances. Also, even in the Olympics of 1920, when too many players of the national team were from Antwerp and the team had to play in Brussels, the team was being booed by being not the players of the language, the same language as the people that came to watch the game. So that was a problem. And they had, after that game, they put some extra French-speaking players or players for the other language in the team, so that it was more balanced, because the public didn't accept it at the time. Now it's so international, and we have players of African origins and other origins. So it's a mixture, and it's this moment it's a very good mixture with a great coach who is absolutely a star in dealing with languages. But there's only one language now. It's a cliche, but it's only one language now. It's football language, and it's one group. In the earlier days, it was sometimes 2 or 3, but now it's absolutely one group. Yeah.
So a little bit of a follow-up question on that. I don't think you mentioned Ostende at all.
Ostende, yeah.
Yeah, and so if that was not a footballing center, that's kind of curious. I would have assumed that it would have been, just in terms
because it's on the coast and because
and you know, would there have been, you know, English or Scots coming across? I know what it's like to pull in that boat in Ostende, and the cosmopolitan there right when you get off the boat is
the boats. If they're English people they came to the port of Antwerp. So when football started in Belgium, it was in the port of Antwerp. So there it started. So that was the biggest port and still is one of the biggest in Europe. And then by industrializing the country, so in the steel and iron factories in their football started also in Brussels with the more elite people. But if you say the English influence, British influence is in Antwerp, because also the number one club by age is the Antwerp FC. So they still are very attached to their English name. It's and they're also called the Great Old. It's their surname, the Great Old. And the origins of Antwerp are English, yeah. And it's the only team in which in the real core is English, yeah.
And so in terms of that cultural diffusion happening through that port city, again, it's fascinating to me that would have been Antwerp, not Ostende.
Yeah, Ostende hasn't a port. It's Zeebrugge is the coastal part of Bruges, but at that time it wasn't developed, and Antwerp has always been developed because it was more in the center of the country and also near to Holland. Then they had a competition of Rotterdam as a big port, but the boats came if they crossed the Atlantic, they came into the channel between England and Belgium and France. So they passed, and then in the south of Holland, they turned into the Schelde, which is the name of the river, one of the biggest in Belgium, and that is leading to the Antwerp port, which is still the biggest port. And Ostend it has no port. Ostend. Well, not a big port, nothing like Zeebrugge or Antwerp or Rotterdam. So
just first time I was in Belgium happened to start there. So in terms of my sense of, but that's all. But so then along with those lines was that with Antwerp, it was decidedly English influence. A lot of the players on the U.S. team, were of Scottish descent. And so I'm wondering if there was any presence of the Scotch professors at the foundations of the game's development in Belgium, or is there really just more of a sense of Britishness rather than English or Scottish?
Britishness and then even more English. Not Scottish, unfortunately, I'd say. The only thing when football was really introduced in Belgium, that was in 1865, it was introduced by a young Irish student who went into a school in the neighborhood of Ghent with a ball, and he was the first to kick a ball in a Belgian school. That's what the legend says. So in 1865, the sport was introduced, but got organized from 1895 when the federation was founded. So
now you've got me really curious. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know where in Ireland he was from? In present-day Republic or the North?
Bernard Morroch was his name. It hasn't been defined literally. I have to look that up.
The reason I ask that is because in terms of cultural diffusion, right, it was football really came to Belfast well before it did Dublin, and it came, of course, because of Belfast's close connection to Glasgow. But for that to be in 1865, this complicates the narrative rather wonderfully.
Yeah.
So.
I'll check whether I could find, but it's not been written where exactly he was from, but I'll look it up. Bernard Morroch. Killarney.
Oh.
So that's Killarney. Yeah. Killarney, I see.
Wow.
Killarney, Ireland, yeah.
So where did he learn
the southwest of the Republic of Ireland, yeah.
Wow.
Nice place. I visited once. It's a very nice place, Killarney.
It sure is.
Yeah, but it's a long time ago. At that time, I wasn't aware of Bernard Morrock yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, now I just want to, we'll go again, and I now have the video here.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, there we go. So this is them coming through the crowds, and the footage comes from a wealthy family who had gained a lot of access to World Cup matches. So they were quite privileged, and even at that time had a very good camera, and they were quite close to the field in a number of occasions. So these are where this is where the home footage comes from. So here you see Tom Flory. He's at the head. Just behind is Andy Auld, and then you'll see George Morehouse, and James will be on the left, but you'll see him pass by. Bringing out the American flag, and they also are all holding the Uruguayan flag, and now they're coming back. So.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, so that was a very, very precious item to get a hold of last summer. I had many conversations with the owner, and he has graciously allowed us, as well as the National Soccer Hall of Fame, to use that in their new facilities down in Dallas, Texas. So that is that's a very, very precious video to take a hold of.
Really, yeah.
It's a shame that there weren't more. There wasn't more footage, that showed elements of the match, or but they just didn't have anything more than that, and that was quite a shame. But are there any other questions? Tom, do you have any comments or questions before we?
Are you all from the United States? We're all from New Jersey or around the States?
I'm from New York.
New York, yeah. Been there in March, just before COVID arrived. Yeah.
Oh, you were?
I was.
Well,
yeah.
And I'm from New Jersey.
Next time we'll have to take you out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm from New Jersey, and I'm looking at the Hudson River and the Manhattan skyline right now. So
we were at Ellis Island. We visited. It's
beautiful. Yeah, I live in Jersey City, which is we claim that as part of New Jersey waters, New York.
Yeah. Now, Stefan, just to introduce it, Tom is the president of SASH, and David is a director.
Okay.
So it's a really great group of passionate lovers of soccer, and they're fantastic professors, and they pass along that passion to their students, and they're able to integrate football and soccer and weave that into their curriculum, which I think is fantastic. And I love the stories that they all come to share with us, because the majority of the people in SASH have a more academic research background. They're just
you are professors by profession. You teach soccer history or American soccer history. You teach it in the university.
Yeah, I'm a professor of English literature and sport management.
Whoa, great! Sports management. Yeah, lovely.
Yes, so I teach anything from theory of literature to sport and society, or
which university?
I'm at Mercy College in New York.
Yeah.
So we have a campus in Dobbs Ferry, about half hour north of Midtown. We have a campus just across the street from the Empire State Building at Herald Square, another one in the Bronx. So, I'm lucky I get to kind of teach a pretty diverse group of courses.
It was great. Yeah. We went with the Belgian team to the United States, to New Jersey in 2013. We played there in the Rutgers University. And we played the game, we trained there. We played in Cleveland against the United States. Yeah.
Well, don't judge the rest of the by Cleveland, please.
But and
also the Cosmos. I'm the club historian of the New York Cosmos. So if you have any good information on Francois Van der Elst, that would be really great.
Oh, Francois, I know his brother well, Leo, and I knew Francois very well. I knew him very well, Francois. Yeah, I really knew him well. Yeah. And his brother, I made a book of Belgium on Belgium soccer heritage. And so it was because we celebrate our 125th anniversary now. And so in that book, if you have 1 minute, shall I check where it is?
Gents, I'm going to have to go and get on another call. But great meeting you, Stefan. I'm moving to London in September. So maybe our paths will cross at some point in Europe.
Okay, great.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
See you, Tom.
So yes, David, so we have a picture of players who are related to legends, and so we took a picture of Leo, and Leo is wearing the shirt of his brother of Cosmos. Yeah, the Cosmos shirt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
If you would like a picture of it, I can send you one because I still.
Oh, that would be great if you would, please.
Yeah. If you can you give me your email address?
Yeah, just david@newyorkcosmos.com.
David at newyorkcosmos.
And one of the
.com. So just David at newyorkcosmos.com.
Yep.
Okay. One of the the New York Giants as well. That is a very that's a close tie, close Belgian tie, and that's one thing that Kurt Deswert,
Kurt Deswert, Kurt, yeah.
Van der Ways.
Kurt is he's really been researching.
On Joe Macca. Joe Macca, he made in his book a chapter on Joe Macca, first American player in Belgium, 50s. So Francois unfortunately passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, we didn't get any immediate news of it. I must confess.
Oh.
No, that's the thing. I don't know why. Found out about it much too late after the fact.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was January 2017, right?
Yeah. And you're in the board of New York Cosmos. You work for the club also.
Yeah. So I would have done a feature story on him and everything at the time had I known.
Okay. No, that's a shame. Yeah, I didn't know how the family did it. We knew it, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So apologies for that. We just.
Yeah, you can.
Saninho died 9 days ago. I don't know if you know the Angolan Portuguese player Saninho. It took about a week for us to hear about.
Okay.
But in the case of Francois Van der Elst, I didn't hear about it for quite some time.
Yeah, that's a pity.
Yeah.
That's a pity.
But it would be nice to get some more info, and maybe we could, at some point, feature him somehow,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, absolutely. I see what I have here from pictures from here and from my books. There's not really books on Francois Van der Elst, I think. We are now busy elaborating a Legends Club of all stuff. He's among them, of course, so he will be represented by his brother, maybe. We'll see. But he was one of the biggest Belgian players, yeah. A very, very friendly, open guy, absolutely. Francois was great, yeah. I've known him for 20 or 30 years, yeah, really, yeah. To the same school, but he's a bit older. We went to the same school, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Belgium is small. All schools are close to, Yeah.
Wow.
David, I'll put you in.
Yeah.
But I'll put you in touch with Kurt.
Yeah.
So that you can talk about the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Great. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah. He's already been in touch with Kevin talking about Joe Macca.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, so Kurt he's a great resource as well. He's quite knowledgeable.
Yeah, really good. Yeah. Well informed, everything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedules to be with us today.
It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, helping us to celebrate this 90th anniversary. First match, and looking forward to the rest of the celebrations over the next 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thank you very much, Stefan, for being with us.
Thank you.
David, thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a great day,
guys.
Bye, David.
Bye.
Bye.